Hi guys, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I'm doing something a little bit different today. It's called Head, Heart, and Higher Self. I pulled 9 cards. All right, so it's on the left because it's facing you, so it's actually the right for the masculine. So the first one out is the masculine. The middle column is the merging of the two, and then the third column is the divine feminine. So the top row is going to be the head. So the masculine, what's in his head, the feminine, what's in his head, and how they come together. The middle row is the divine masculine's heart, the divine feminine's heart, and the middle is how they come together in the heart space. And then same for the third, the higher self of the masculine, the higher self of the feminine, and how they merge together. There's the underlying energies and then also the overall purpose at the end, okay? So it came out really cool. I do still journal it first because I get more messages that way. It's just how my downloads work. So I'm sorry if that's not what you like. There's certainly many other readers out there that you can watch. But I'm going to start out with the underlying energies for you guys to show you how they come out. And this is the Sirian Starseed deck that I'm using for the base read. And then I do have the mini deck for Rider-Waite to clarify them. Okay, so the underlying energies are here. So we have the transition card or the death card here, the Queen of Wands, and then the 10 of Cups. And then we had the Trinity of, for me, that's the masculine's workplace or the place of co-creation. And this is the Great Wheel, so, okay, the Wheel of Fortune. And then the 8 of Flames or the 8 of Wands, okay? So here was all about the end of the karmic story. The death portal, the Queen of Wands, and the 10 of Cups as the divine masculine's workplace, Trinity, and divine timing or destiny and passionate expressions of love come out. There's a coming together here in co-creation and divine heated exchange. So I'm definitely getting an end story here with the 10 of Cups and the Death card, okay? There's an end with the Queen of Wands, which has traditionally in my reads come up as the karmic. Doesn't have to be a negative karmic, it's just the karmic situation. So it's coming to an end of a family cycle with the transition going through a portal that's out in the open, okay? And then we have the place of co-creation and divine timing of expressing feelings about passion. It could be a heated exchange, it could actually be a union heated exchange of the masculine and feminine coming together, or it can actually be a heated exchange and a breakup that needed to happen. So that's very positive underlying energy for the union. Some of the cards that came out that I clarified this with were the 6 of Cups, the 9 of Pentacles, the 4 of Wands, and then the Devil, okay? So it's definitely ending or a move to a marriage or family, okay? Where someone found their sovereignty, and let go of negativity of the past, or that the past is returning in order for it to come up and transmute it, waving goodbye. Okay. But also here we have the King of Wands, the Ace of Swords, both reversed, and then the 8 of Cups also reversed. So it's about dumping attachments. The King of Wands is tired, exhausted of not being in his truth, not having clarity, and letting go of attachments. Okay, this is all about the underlying energy. And then a third row of the 6 of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles and the Hierophant reverse. Okay, so this is about settling up, sharing with others, okay, being the student, studying their gold coin, seeing all the different perspectives, examining the situation, studying their psychic abilities of spirituality, but also could be a divorce situation as well. Okay, so that's all the underlying energies. From the Rider-Waite, I also have an underlying energy pile here, which shows a disconnect or a breakup of a partnership or relationship. Okay, but it all has to do with your gold coin and what, and you know, here's the Magician and the 4 of Pentacles reversed, which is about letting go to fix things up, to repair. But ultimately it comes down to your gold coin and knowing, you know, you don't need these insecurities, you don't need this depression, this loss of hope, because you have the gold coin and you have the tools to do what you need to do, okay? But it's processing all these emotions to get to that place. So then we go into the Divine Masculine's headspace. Where was that? In regaining your gold coin, you see you have all the tools you need. The Divine Masculine learns to express deep emotions, and the Divine Feminine is learning she can stand in her truth without anything to prove. She doesn't have to tell the story. She doesn't have to express a whole bunch of feelings. She's already done that. All she needs to do is stand in her truth. So she's learning this. So then we have for the masculine, and this is the headspace for both, he comes up as the King of Cups, or the Master of Chalices, okay? So he's in his unconditional love, and it's clarified by the Four of Cups reversed and the Knight of Pentacles here, which was coming up for me as him in his unconditional love. He's learning not to work, how to be still and be okay with that, ready to start over in love and not settle. He's tired of being drained by secrets and not using his intuition and deliberating indecision, and now ready to drop his burdens, okay? This is his intellectual capacity. All right, so these are some of the other clarifiers that were coming out for that, okay? He's tired of being drained and not using his intuition or secrets kept that may be coming out, okay? And deliberating, not making decisions, and ready to just drop his burdens. He can't handle it anymore. So it's a perfect place for his headspace to be, in unconditional love. So for the feminine, she's a little bit more simple. Her headspace is all about expanding her abilities, you know, being confident in her abilities, and it's just the right timing, all right? We have the Wheel of Fortune there. She's right where she needs to be. Some of the clarifiers for her, having been through what she was just through, has to do with being stuck in her emotions, all about her psychic abilities, as the Page of Pentacles there, which also came up on the other side, the Page of Pentacles. But you're divinely guided. After being stuck without peace and choosing a path, feeling ungrounded and not working, now relaxed about that, the sealed Divine Feminine with new passionate growth and working on coming together more in the 5D, all right? So here's that, you know, being stuck in your emotions with the Six of Swords reversed, and then needing to choose a path, feeling ungrounded as the Queen of Pentacles reversed, and then here as not working or working too much and not able to focus properly because you're trying to do too much. But then the Divine Feminine in her headspace also knows that she is sealed Divine Feminine. She has come full circle. She feels complete and is now finding her new passion, her new growth, having to do with coming together, especially in the 5D. That right now the work is about connecting in 5D, okay? So how you come together in the mind has to do with the Six of Crystals, staying balanced, okay, in all parts of your life, all right? And not constantly giving to others, especially the feminine needs to learn how to receive. So it's the feminine in both of you and the masculine in both of you. It's about balancing all aspects of your life. It's about, specifically for the masculine, impatience, and for the feminine, always giving too much love, offering love instead of allowing yourself to receive. Those are the things you needed to rebalance. And those are the things that were blocking you from allowing the full transformation. So now we get into the heart space. The heart space for the masculine starts out with the Queen of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles reversed. So this is about him being in his heart space with the Divine Feminine of the Queen of Cups, having let go of dysfunctional family or money issues. He's now allowing that cycle to end, whether it has to do with dysfunctional family or his legacy of family. He's letting that go. His heart, he's in the King and Queen of Pentacles, the masculine. Like, so in a sense, in the head and heart, the masculine's beyond the feminine. He's in his King of Cups and his Queen of Cups. But there were some things, you know, he had to deal with the heart space here, right? No affection, feeling trapped in deception and separation, right? Heartbreak. He had to crack his heart open with all of this. And it couldn't happen without having to go through heartbreak, and then awakening completely with his crown opening, all right? Getting his crown open to be able to connect to his higher self and get past the thoughts of the logical man, and now coming into his awakening. The feminine side is all about her in the Seven of Flames. You know, she's rising up above all the drama and the crap, all the heat, causing the balloon to rise, to dance the dance, to get her in her power. And this was coming through as her being an emperor in her masculine. So her in her masculine, rising above drama and transmuting energies, doing the dance, coming clean to self about any residual control or ego issues to allow swords to fall out of her back, ending the pain cycle once and for all. No more sneakiness or half-truths, even with herself. So clarifying that was just 11:11. We have the Seven of Swords reversed and the Emperor reversed, and this is all about ego death. It's about being out of control to learn to let go of control. Okay, and no more half-truths or sneakiness, okay, that you have to be fully in your truth and letting go of any masculine control issues. Okay, so that's on the feminine side. But it's all in order to allow the swords to drop out, because the worst is over, it's done, it's the end of the pain cycle. So here at the heart level, the feminine has been dealing with releasing the swords, the masculine releasing the pentacles. And as they come together in the middle, how perfect for the heart is the higher self. So the way they merge is through your higher self, right? So keeping your hearts connected to the 5D in that connection, very strong. It's clarified by the Empress and the Nine of Cups reversed. Okay? Where am I here? So we're on the merge of the higher self. In order to be abundant, you must first become dissatisfied, because that's where the propulsion comes from. The divine masculine free from verbal abuse now, and the divine feminine present to any blocks to moving forward, or just happiness on your own, or is it really necessary to do anything at all? Is your need to, if you do feel, say, oh, you know, I'm suddenly free to move if I want to, I can do this if I want to, but are you moving because for joy, for your true joy of it, because there's something else more that you want, or are you moving because of your ego, and because where you are may not seem to be the best place that most people would be? So just make sure it's about your true happiness and not your ego self. And do you really need to ever move at all if you're perfectly satisfied within yourself? So we're coming up here, you know, with clarifying higher self as abundance. The Empress is just sitting there enjoying herself. She doesn't need anything else to feel good, but only getting there to find dissatisfaction. So where you got yourself, was it really satisfying in the end? So just learning how to be present always to anything that's blocking you to your ultimate happiness. And then we also had more to the masculine side about him freeing himself from verbal abuse, okay, and silent treatment. And here's that the feminine cards of being present to any blocks or obstacles. That are they really obstacles at all? Okay. Then we have the higher self. So in the higher self for the masculine, he has the Ten of Orbs, because he's still struggling and feeling confident in his connection, because he's the logical mind. His thoughts are always blocking him and getting him in the way of his meditation, his clear channel. So he's still struggling with that, but learning to end the pain of the thoughts that get in his way It's clarified by the King of Swords, the Knight of Wands reversed, and the Wounded Warrior, the Nine of Wands, all right? So remember, when we're dealing with higher self, for the masculine, his higher self is his feminine. And for the feminine, vice versa, her higher self is the masculine. So you're always dealing with both the masculine and feminine energies. But in this is the masculine's higher self struggling to get past thoughts of pain, the divine feminine waiting patiently, but is impatient with self, because it's the masculine energy being impatient, the King of Swords in his truth but holding back passions, feeling like the wounded warrior who's the victim mentality, wanting to give up on knowing how to connect with higher self, struggling and turning off mind to connect to higher self in order to end his pain cycle. For the feminine in her higher self, which obviously is going to be at a more stable place, she is the Emperor. But you notice this Emperor is extending a false hand. She's letting go of all artificial pieces. And definitely was coming up today about getting rid of plastics, just even simple things like that in your house that are artificial, that are no longer good for you. Those artificial extensions of you. But she is definitely her divine masculine, grieving having offered his gold coin. So her higher self is her masculine, grieving having offered his gold coin to those who ignored him or verbally abused him. The divine feminine lets go of her false hand, plastics around house, artificial things that do not serve her. Only the King of Cups, so it's clarified by these three cards. It's like the higher self, you know, with their gold coin, grieving that they offered it to the artificial, not the pure, okay? But then the feminine knowing that all she needs to stay in is unconditional love for complete emotional fulfillment. So she's letting go of all artificial extensions of her now. She's really going through that clearing of ego death. She's already there. She's the Emperor in her higher self. That's her strong suit. But she's also now clearing out any last things that need to be transmuted. She has gone beyond mastering to transcend her etheric connection that would otherwise cause her grief, and which has in the past. But she's getting past that point. So then the merging of those two, the merging of the higher selves together, is the Five of Crystals, but in a very positive way, and not the normal meaning today. Because you see, this person, so it looks like the Hermit, but without the light, is in exile from the group back here. But this is self-imposed exile. It's putting yourself in isolation in a cold place for a reason, okay? So the masculine learning to purge his thoughts in order to connect better with his higher self, the higher realm, and then the feminine having mastered that by coming together where you both isolate yourself from the group. You are able then to focus more on your meditation with your higher self to connect with each other. Okay, so it's isolating from the crowd in order to make a more clear connection between the two of you. So both of you are called to spend more time connecting in the 5D, separating self from the crowd, self-imposed exile without light, to know your divine feminine can stand in her truth without needing to defend herself, okay? Even when there's no light present. The divine masculine is inspired to come forward. All right, so this is about the divine feminine facing the divine masculine, standing in her truth without needing to express all the feelings. They've already been said. She just needs to stand in her truth. And then the masculine being inspired to come forward, and the feminine inspired to offer spiritual love, that true, deep love. And is the masculine then willing to accept? That is the question. Okay? So then the purpose comes out. All right? The purpose is guidance, but it's also the Hierophant card with the Five of Wands behind it and 3 flames exposed. So it's really about here, the divine marriage expanding through the third energy, connecting the 5D, rising in your knowing past negative self-talk, silent treatment, tripping up, and dropping the masks, the divine masculine's jealousy or insincerity, that the Knight of Cups was always trying to catch up to offer love, and now coming together in co-creation, both standing up for themselves and fending off others without being reactive or defensive. So these are the cards clarifying that, all right? It was like showing you that it's all about just staying in your knowing, in your divine connection, your divine marriage, right? Letting go of the negative self-talk and any deceptions of tripping up, breaking patterns needed to be broken, but staying in your knowing. And that part was above the story, which was so funny the way it came out here. The story of the three, right? The two with the third party, the journey of the Queen of Cups reversed, the Queen of Wands reversed, and the King of Pentacles reversed. So the masculine, divine, feminine, and the karmic. That story. Okay? That here is recovering from jealousy, but you see the divine feminine's shown up here ahead without the masculine. This was actually covered there. But if you turn this upright, it's that the masculine was behind her trying to catch up and offer love all along. She just couldn't see it. Okay, so it was coming out this way. And then the final two clarifiers are the Three of Pentacles with the Seven of Wands, which is all about standing up for yourself without reacting or being defensive, right? Especially with the energies. It could be people coming in at you, but it can be the energies as well. But it's knowing about who you are, okay, and coming together in divine co-creation no matter what, and being in your knowing, standing up for yourself. Okay, so this was the basic read on that, okay, which is the cover, and then this is the clarified read on that one. So I hope you like that. Let me know what you think. Rise and be loved, guys.